Time for Trek. The other day I phoned it. Is Lower Decks irreverent? But actually, with regards to the canonicity of Star Trek, it actually accepts that every single episode of TOS and TNG are canon. Okay, so get that out of your head, nerds. Also, people who say, oh, it was all dream theories, was a cop-out. Well, it can be. It depends on the story. So, I think the idea that, I don't think that works for Lord of the Rings. I think for obvious reasons, so that, Frodo was in a coma and imagined everything. Does it work for Pokemon? Everyone's in maybe not necessarily Ash, but all the adults are in a Jigglypuff-induced coma. Similar to It Was All a Dream, it was a simulation, but having events of, a story being a simulation or a dream does say something about the simulator or the dreamer. Again, so it's not always irrelevant or a cop-out. A sensible explanation for it was all a dream or simulation is Star Trek: The Next Generation. Star Trek: The Next Generation introduces both Q and the holodeck. The holodeck would be very useful for training officers, and you could even introduce bizarre scenarios to assess a candidate's suitability for command if they were about to be promoted, for instance. So this doesn't mean that every episode is a simulation or whatever, or a dream, but perhaps some of the Q episodes, for example, could be. Or there are a bizarre simulation dream induced by Q, or sort of further to that. Sometimes it could be a weird dream, but the weird dream is initiated by Q. Oh, I don't know why I feel like I'm on a roll with these theories today. Final one, maybe I should make another video about it because people don't watch this far and they really need a shave. Is further from the Q idea, is that the Enterprise's first encounter with the Borg was another simulation. Either Q induced everyone to have a dream, or a more robust version is even Q himself was part of the training program. The Federation knew about the Borg, but not Starfleet, or elements in the Federation knew about the Borg, perhaps Section 31. Perhaps Section 31 knew about the Borg, but not Starfleet, or not everybody in Starfleet. So it was a way of training them for preparation for the Borg, maybe. It's one of those things that it makes sense, and then you think about it and think, actually, maybe it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I'll put a little Borg guy on there. I'll do this. Right, I think that's enough. That's almost 4 minutes. Thanks for listening to me for 4 minutes.